I got 9 o'clock. If everybody stand, join us for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everybody. If we could have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve the minutes of the December 15th, 2025 regular meeting and the December 15th, 2025 work session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve the employee claims filed with County Auditor for $573.28.
Make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve the promotion letter for Alex Davis to County Engineer effective January 1st, 2026. Annual salary of $152,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Alex. Approve the employment contract termination of County Engineer Brian Keierleber effective December 31st, 2025, and I'll add that's due to his retirement.
I have in the morning.
So I need a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brian, thank you again for all your service.
It's been a pleasure, and I've made the comment numerous times that we don't really lay out our career paths, the good Lord does, and I couldn't have done here as good as he's done.
And we are having a retirement celebration for Brian on December 31st out at the EOC from
1 to 4.
Yeah. So stop out and give him a big pat on the back and kick him out the door.
Take these keys and he leaves there to go.
Yeah. Approve the master matrix resolution for 2026.
So moved.
Is there any questions regarding that? That's basically, so it's from the Iowa Department of Natural Resources. So you guys have a say if there's any type of construction permits or anything like that. It's an annual.
Do that every year.
Yeah. With the motion, can you also include to have the auditors submitted after January 1st? Because we can always submit them between January 1st and January 31st.
I'll make the motion to approve the master matrix resolution for 2026 and, with the auditor to submit it after January 1st.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, items for discussion or approval. Discuss the compensation board recommendations.
I sent you all the minutes and a copy of their recommendations last week. So it's up for discussion and or approval for the Board of Supervisors. The reason I requested it to be on the agenda this soon is due to the fact that many of these elected officials have deputies, and per Iowa code and whatever the percentage of what the elected officials' salary is, these deputies have a certain percentage that is their salary. So in order for the elected officials to continue with their budget process, we need to have this in place.
Mr. Wheelan, I know you shared all the worksheets out to your compatriots on Facebook. It caused quite a stir over the weekend. Do you want to lead off with any comments or discussion?
I would say that if somebody's asking for information, then we provide it. So that's what their opinion is. After that is their opinion.
Well, bear in mind, it has not been approved yet.
True.
And nobody knew the information was even disseminated to us, to the elected officials.
Nobody would know. Why wouldn't we let them know?
And I said nobody had known, so they wouldn't have been able to ask for it. Because you said people asked for it.
Yep.
Any other compensation board discussion? Anyone from the audience?
I'll say that the recommendations look a little high.
Expound on that,
Sure.
or expand on it?
I would say that to leave them where they are this year, instead of increasing everybody 5%, et cetera, et cetera. just leave them right where they are this year. Freeze the elected officials' salaries.
Or do you look at Iowa code to see if you can do that?
Here's the discussion. Can we do that?
Why don't you look up that, figure out county compensation, what you can and can't do before you start making a recommendation?
No, that's the recommendation. We don't have to accept the recommendation.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
When you're talking about okay, so if you don't give the director, you don't give the elected official the increase and their deputies based upon that number, does that limit their ability to get an increase as well then?
Yes.
Yes, so basically what would have to be done is the percentage of the salary that the deputies receive would either have to be increased or that deputy would not get a salary increase.
And how many of those are there within the?
I have 2 in my office.
I
Michelle?
have 2 in my office.
Gina,
I have 3.
I have 3.
Plus this the attorney.
county attorney has 2. That's what the assistant county attorney's salary goes off, the percentage of his.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know what numbers are paid or anything.
Sorry,
but
I-
just-
I have 2, Chris.
Go ahead, Sean.
Just, he has 2, he said.
No, I was just gonna say that I had 2, but you beat me to it.
Oh, and Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, are your deputies at the max percentage? So if you get a 0 salary increase, they also get a 0 salary increase?
My first assistant, is at the max at 85% already. So if I get no increase, she gets no increase. And she has been with the county since July of 2012.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question?
May-
What's your reasoning? And aren't a lot of these people doing more than one person's job already? I mean, shouldn't this be merit with, I mean, from what I understand, maybe I'm wrong, but these people do more than above and beyond what is expected.
Yeah, the general idea for elected officials that you receive about an average of what the income is for the county. So we're well above average, even at the analysis that the compensation board did. Most of those positions are well above that middle 5 up, 5 below kind of conversation. So
Have you
No,
looked
they're
at,
not.
have you looked at the ISAC?
at the recommendations.
Did you look at the ISAC website that tells you where everybody is at and the
Are we
different?
basing our conversation off their recommendations or off of ISAC? I mean, that's
That's where they,
ISAC is where those spreadsheets come directly to us from ISAC.
Yeah.
And that is what we are to use in discussions, and that is what we did use in discussion.
I still believe our pay is too high.
We also have to understand that next year we'll be again behind further.
I agree. That's it's excellent reason to save money,
No, next year. we will
especially if
be
we're going to build an ambulance service.
Excuse me, next year, our wages will be further behind and not equal to what they should be.
We're not receiving ARPA funds next year.
ARPA funds do not pay wages.
I am not in charge as a compensation board member. I am not in charge of anything but recommendations based on ISAC and the code.
Sure, thank you. Is there any limitation in the code that she was referring to?
You will have.
Yeah,
to
there
make it.
is.
I am not going to do that.
ask your.
I think Sean had a comment here.
Sean, what do you have?
Yeah, so it would have been July of 23, I believe, is when the code was significantly overhauled when it came to comp board. It actually, it was an ISAC initiative to get the code changed when it came to the comp board, and ultimately gave the authority to set salaries of other elected officials to the Board of Supervisors. However, if the Board of Supervisors wanted to continue to use a compensation board rather than do that themselves, which would include setting their own salaries, which ultimately the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors at the time decided that they did not like the idea of setting their own salaries as well as the other elected officials. So they chose to reinstate a Buchanan County Compensation Board. So that was done, I believe at the beginning of 2024. Because 2024 would have been the first year that new law would have been in effect. So the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors decided to keep the comp board. And then there are limitations in the code now as to what the comp board can and cannot consider when setting those salaries. Essentially, they are limited to considering the salaries of other elected officials in similar positions and similarly sized counties, with the exception, I believe, of the sheriff. And there are also a few additional considerations with the sheriff. I don't know. I see Sheriff Bazinski is there. I know he can just rattle them off, but I know one is comparison to, I believe, city chiefs of police and maybe captains or some level of Iowa State Patrol troopers that are supposed to be figured into his equation. And then if there are federally equivalent positions. However, so the compensation board cannot consider things like other benefits county employees receive, because that's not up to them. That's up to the Board of Supervisors. That could be pulled at any time by the Board of Supervisors. Essentially, it was ISAC's push to try to get an equalization across the state. So that way counties of similar size had elected officials that were getting paid similar salaries. So really, they are really very limited to what they consider. I know there was, I can't see everybody at the same time, but I know I heard, something came up about ARPA funds, something came up about EMS. Those are all things that legally cannot be considered when the comp board is trying to decide what salaries are for elected officials.
Thank you, Sean.
John, can I ask another question?
You may.
So obviously, we haven't seen anything in terms of what the compensation commission or whatever it's called recommended. Is the recommendation is it across the board recommendation the same percentage for each of the elected officers, or is it?
No, it varies. It
Here's
varies.
a copy of the minutes. Anybody else like a copy of the minutes while I'm up? Here, take one down, pass it around.
Can I add something to that too? On the sheriff, we look at the criminologists, what the criminologists in the state of Iowa get paid. That's another one.
Thanks, Dan.
So besides the sheriff's office, is there a reason that we can't hold that back everybody else's pay?
I think, in my personal opinion, I think we value our county employees and want to see them fairly compensated. And I'll use Chris as an example. If you were to compare her to a CFO of a similar sized corporation, she's probably underpaid. Just gonna be frank. And Sean, as the county attorney, at his salary, he would probably be making more than double that if he went out into the private sector. And if he were to choose to do that, then you would be looking at going out into the open market and trying to find somebody to come in and, number one, run for county attorney and have it attractive enough that they want to do it. And it takes a unique individual who wants to dedicate their time and talents at a lower compensation than what they would get in the private sector. They gotta have a drive that drives them to do that. I want to keep our good employees and compensate them well. Even though they are elected officials, there's nothing that says they have to run again. And just remember, every time you have turnover in a public office like that, you have chaos. Case in point. Okay. I value every one of them. I fully support what the recommendations are. They did recommend just a 3% raise for the supervisors, and I feel that's more than adequate for us. And if the board decides that we should reduce anything, we have to start with the supervisor.
We can't reduce the other ones, we can only reduce the supervisor. I'm reading it correctly.
So the minutes don't indicate what the prior salary was or what the percentage of increase they're recommending is. Is it something that if we publish or?
I can find a copy of it.
You have
I
to,
got it here, but it's so small, I can barely read it, so.
we have a couple of members here, compensation board members here, they might have it with them.
I just need to pull it up here. I can print some. That's not a problem at all.
And the assessor's not on it because they're not an elected position.
No,
Correct.
yeah.
I just want to add one more thing, and on whatever the Board of Supervisors decide, I personally feel that all of our department heads are very fiscal responsible with taxpayers' money. So whatever the salary increase is, they will ensure that they can have a suitable budget to submit instead of having a huge increase. There's always a way you can cut a little bit here or there, unless, maybe it's a big project or something like that. But I just want to remind the board that we have some darn good department heads, and they're very responsible with their budgets. And I feel that it's kind of a slap if you feel this is going to be a huge budget increase to those working hard to keep their budget in place.
Yes, Chris, on that note, the Board of Supervisors has a lot more discretion when it comes to, approving our department budgets, than they really do with what they do at the board, comp board's recommendations. So certainly, when it comes time for our budget workshops, they certainly could be asking us to try to reduce budgets where we could. I don't know if that assists in any further discussion.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Is there anything other than the sheriff's office that we're bound to follow? Do we have to accept all of those recommendations?
Since the Board of Supervisors essentially left it or chose not to take it upon themselves to decide those salaries and have essentially turned it over to the comp board. There used to, prior to that law change, there was a lot of official attorney general's opinions on the topic. One was essentially if the Board of Supervisors was going to reduce the amount recommended by the comp board, they had to do it by an equal percentage across the board. In that reduction, reductions couldn't go below the current fiscal year's salary. However, when that law changed, what the Attorney General's office, the PATC office advised was that most of those opinions are out the window because of the way in which the law changed and the way the statute's worded now. Essentially, if the Board of Supervisors re-implemented the comp board, which our county did, the Board of Supervisors essentially would be limited to reducing their own salary increase. So the board of supervisors could decide that they aren't going to take a pay raise at all, and you guys are going to freeze your own salaries into the next year. But essentially, that discretion with doing that with the other electeds is gone. So it wouldn't be a straight across the board cut anymore. The way the statute's worded now, it would be the Board of Supervisors could decide for themselves to essentially refuse the pay increase that's been recommended for them. But again, that would only apply to the board members. It wouldn't apply to other electeds.
Yeah, thanks for that.
I think I just told you that, Keith, only in a lot less words.
Yes, I think you did. I heard that and I wasn't sure who said it. So I wanted to be sure that you heard it from somebody at the county. I didn't know it was you, Don. Sorry.
No, that's quite fine, Sean. I'm glad you backed me up in what you said. It's just sometimes I feel like I'm not believed.
I know last year when they did change the law and give the counties the option of eliminating their compensation board, we felt very strongly that we wanted outside people setting those wages, not skewed by our personal thoughts. And I have to commend the compensation board members because they do a lot of research and are very dedicated to try and come up with a fair assessment of where we are and what the compensation should be. And I value their input, and I think we as a board need to be supportive of their efforts. We've had to have some changes on compensation board makeup over the last couple of years, simply because of turmoil and that type of thing. And I hate to see that happen because their input is invaluable. So that's just my point. Dawn, you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, when I know that with the supervisors, when they determine ours, I'm not sure exactly how they do that because some of the boards out there have 5-member boards and some have 3-member boards. Obviously, it's the same amount of work across the 5, if it's spread throughout 5 members, then there's less work per each member. If there's only a 3-member board like ours, then there is a little bit more work per each member with a county of this size.
Can I respond to that?
You may.
Yes.
We do look at that information. We do look at what we divided by 3, we divided by 5 to determine what you guys are really making.
Right.
We don't just pull stuff like this. I mean, it took me probably 2 days to pull the data that we look at.
Right. No, and I know that, Deb. I know you guys do a very, very good job, and I'm not saying that you don't. I just was explaining to the people that might not understand how different counties function and that there are 5-member boards and there are 3-member boards, because sometimes people don't understand. So that's why I was doing that. And
Yeah, but if you look at the spreadsheet right underneath the supervisors, there's a number like the 33535. That's how many people are on their board of supervisors. Yeah.
Sean, is there a way that we could ask the compensation board to go back and meet again?
No. I'm not gonna ask these people that don't get paid to do what they've done to go back because that doesn't meet what you think that they should have done. Just because you have one thing in your mind doesn't mean that everybody else in the whole county does. Just because you hear from 2 or 3 people doesn't mean that everybody else feels that way, Keith. I'm sorry that you don't agree with what they did, but sometimes we just have to pull our britches on and suck it up, essentially.
Thanks for your opinion. Sean?
Well, essentially, unless there was something that the comp board missed, which I haven't heard anybody from the comp board say that they missed anything, essentially, whether it's the comp board looking at it 1 time or 2 times, the information they're required to look at is not going to change from 1 time to the next. just as if we didn't have a comp board and it was up to the Board of Supervisors, when it comes to setting the salaries of elected officials, even the Board of Supervisors is now limited under code as to what they can look at. And those are comparisons to similar positions in similar size counties, with, again, a few exceptions for the sheriff. So asking the comp board to go back and meet again, sounds like you'd be asking them to look at the same data that they've already looked at. And if they're basing it solely on that data as the code requires them to do, there should not be any difference in what their recommendations would be.
Ask one more question. Apologize.
Please.
I know that Sean just said this, but I just want to make sure that I'm understanding the same way. So what the comp board did for everybody with the exception of supervisors is locked in, and the supervisors can only approve that. With regard to the supervisors themselves, the supervisors can adjust the number in terms of what their own salary increase is projected based upon what the comp board did. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's the way I heard it as well.
Correct.
I apologize for repeating it. I just want to make sure I understood it completely.
Thank you for the clarification.
Quite frankly, when I just had pulled my social security statement, Aquaman Servicing had gone out of business. And that's when I went back to school and did what I've done. Now puts me here where I'm at. At that point in time, I was making $20,000 more in the private sector than what I'm making in the public sector, running as an elected official. So I don't know where you think that we're actually being overpaid, Keith. Unless you've just had like really small jobs in the past. Like I guess I'm a little bit confused by this.
But I'm considering the average pay for the county,
Yeah, for doing what?
everything.
Okay,
You can't compare my salary to a county engineer.
I hear you. I
attorney,
hear you.
Or you can't compare, I guess I'm not understanding what you mean by that statement. Because you cannot compare all these county employees as one. They all have very specific jobs and they're all very dedicated to their jobs. And basically what reflects, whether it be the elected officials, the department heads, that goes back to those employees also. Because that's the way that department heads make their budgets work.
right. And I feel like if we would cut what the compensation board said, then they have several employees in their department that aren't going to get a wage.
Unless they remove them as deputies. Sure.
They can't remove them.
Why
as
would you
deputies.
remove them as deputies?
Well, if you wanted to give them a raise and you weren't otherwise able to.
No, I would be able, I could possibly raise the percentage that they're getting. However, these elected officials that have deputies in their office that are at the max percentage per Iowa code,
Right.
then yes, those people do not get a raise. Michelle, do you have some at max? I was thinking you do.
I do.
Yeah.
I
Gina
have one,
does?
and she's been in my office for 20+ years
Thank you.
and does three departments. So to give her nothing is pretty.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what your end goal is. Like, where do you want to see the county in 2 years, Keith? Do you want everybody to have a position in the county, or do you want to have a county government in 2 years? I guess I'm trying to figure out what your end goal is, because there's an end goal here with this discussion. Or are you just pandering to a couple people?
Well, I think we should reduce our overall taxation of the county, so. It seems like the first.
There's numerous ways that can be done.
Yep. So, are there any other comments, too?
I'm gonna say, and here, but you didn't get a raise. The former recorder didn't get a raise. I didn't get a raise because I was under. But everybody else that wasn't an elected official or a percentage, so the union people, the non-union people that were on hourly, we didn't get a raise. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good for morale. And maybe the person right next to you, they got a raise, right? But I didn't. But I'm still doing my same amount of work and maybe more, definitely more than they probably are, because that's why I'm at a higher wage. I'm just saying it really takes some morale down.
Yeah, thank you.
To pigtail on that, each of these elected offices within our county government have statutory obligations that they have to the state and to the county that they have to fulfill. They are mandated by either state or ordinance that they have to perform these duties. And they have to be experts in how to do that. This is not something you hire somebody off the street that's gonna walk in and suddenly be able to do this. I don't care if they're making 3 times what the elected official is right now. It's a whole new skill set. And you need to understand that. And I'm proud of the people we have in our positions. And it'd be great if everybody would work for $20,000 a year, but that's not realistic, okay? We need to compensate them fairly and depend on them to continue their employment for the county. That's my opinion.
Can I add, adding on to, I guess what Michelle said, and I don't remember what year it was, Michelle, but I know there were a couple years in there where when it came time to doing our office budgets, you know, we were specifically asked, you know, try to limit non-union staff to like a 2% raise. And what you were talking about morale, when we're being asked to give non-union employees no more than a 2% raise, meanwhile, those employees know, because everything's public record, that the Board of Supervisors has a contract with secondary roads or the sheriff's office, and the Board of Supervisors has chosen to have in contract a higher percentage raise for those employees. Certainly that goes to the morale of the non-union employees. And then with our the electeds, deputies and whatnot being set at a certain percentage of ours, obviously that comes into play there with the morale. But and I'm trying to also understand, Keith, when you're talking about comparisons within the county, I just want to make sure that it's clear that whether it's a compensation board or the Board of Supervisors setting the salary of the other electeds by statute, you're very limited on what you can look at. And so, like for the recorder's position, you need to look at similar size counties, county recorder positions, and setting the Buchanan County recorder salary, just like when the comp board or the Board of Supervisors would look at setting the salary for the Board of Supervisors, they would need to look at similar size counties and take into comparison whether it's those counties have a 5-member or a 3-member board. When they're looking at county attorney salaries, again, similar size counties, and take into consideration whether those county attorneys are part-time or full-time. So those are the things to take into consideration. So when there's mention of taking into other county considerations, I don't know what specifically you're referencing is, but I can tell you that there's no other variables that are allowed by the code to be taken into consideration.
Bobby had something.
Well, I know ARPA was mentioned, and ARPA has nothing to do with the salaries. But one thing I'd ask the board, please do not make a decision on the backs of these people of some of the mistakes that have been made that concerns the additional lawyer costs this year, the money, the revenue that's going to be lost with the rental things. There's quite a bit of money that's been lost. Don't put that on the back of the employees. Do what's right, give them their raise, and respect what the compensation board is recommended.
Sorry, you had something.
I do have a question. So Keith, you said that you were trying, that you wanted to in line with all the county employees. You're taking average of all the county employees. So where did you get that? Exactly what was it that you said?
I said the county average, the county's pay.
Okay, so where did you get the county pay average and what does that include? Because I want to know this.
I'd say it's significantly less than what we're
But
seeing.
where did you get it? Where did you get these facts and figures that you're using? Because I want to know where you got them and I want to know what they are.
Is it factual information or it's just your gut feeling?
I can't imagine that that the county average is as high as what our elected officials are getting.
Okay, so you don't have these facts and figures because you can't tell me where you got them.
Can you?
Once again,
show-
here we
I
go.
can show you them. You can look it up here.
Really? Have you looked it up before now?
We did last year, remember?
No, we didn't last year.
Stick with that then.
Yes, sir.
I apologize, but I'm a little confused because I thought I just was trying to clarify that only the supervisors compensation is something that you guys can decide on. Everything else is decided by the board, the compensation board. And so there really isn't any further
I
discussion
don't think so either.
with regard to any of them. I think this is just about, the three of you in terms of what you're deciding, because if you're locked in based upon the compensation board for all the other elected officials, am I getting that wrong?
No, you're correct. I mean, that's the way I heard it as well.
Yeah, yep. Well, let's see. I believe it is chapter 331.907 compensation schedule preparation and adoption. And it would be under number 3.
And also 0.911 has
you.
information for the boards, or the compensation board on what we can look at.
Or any other comments? I'll make the motion that we accept the report, freeze the Board of Supervisors pay for FY 25 and approve the remainder of the elected officials as recommended by the compensation board. I don't hear a second.
Guy for an extra second. I would make a motion that we vote to approve the compensation board recommendations for next year that they have put together for us.
Can I
As-
ask a
as
question?
recommended.
Can you guys just, if Keith doesn't want the raise, can he just refuse the raise and you should still get it? It has to be all across the board. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
Sean, does it have to be across the board?
Yes. Did you catch that? Yes, it needs to be all three board members would be the same.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
There's a motion on the floor.
Well, actually, what I would like to do is I would like to approve everybody else's recommendations. Quite frankly, I want to take a look at ours a little bit. I want to think about that some, because I really believe that, Keith, you really truly want this raise. It's just you're playing to the audience. So at this point in time, I want to put the board of supervisors on the table and approve everybody else's.
I'll second that.
Is that okay with you, John?
Next one. And roll call vote.
Okay, so the motion that, the
That way
first
they can
motion
do
that
it.
Keith presented was to accept but freeze the Board of Supervisors salaries. Died of a lack of second. John made the motion to approve the salary increases as provided by the compensation board. So that one is dying for a lack of second also.
Correct.
I just like to table the whole discussion personally.
Okay, that's also an option for the board, but the reason I had this presented to the Board of Supervisors is because we need to get budgets done.
Right, and I do understand that, and so the one budget, our salary is not going to really impact our budget that much, the board salary isn't. We can go ahead and figure in the increase, and then if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But everybody else's salary, they have deputies that are based upon these recommendations, so they definitely need to move that forward. So that's why I made that's why I would like to accept theirs. And at this point in time, just set the boards aside.
So accept all elected officials recommendations, except for the Board of Supervisors to be discussed at a further date.
Yes,
And when do you want that date?
I'm not gonna say that right now.
Oh, we have to come up with a date.
Well, we will have it before budget.
We're starting budgets in a week.
But I'm saying, we need to.
You said you did a roll call vote?
Yes.
One moment.
Sorry.
Get the motion down there. We'll agree to discuss that on a future agenda as far as the approval for the supervisor's salary.
Okay, I'm ready for a roll call, please.
Kurtz, aye.
Wheel and I.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your input. On a lighter note,
INRCOG, you wanna read the
Sure.
information?
we're gonna read it.
It should be in the board.
I can read it.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Want to take something away from you?
No, you're welcome to it.
Mhm. Brian Keierleber has been honored as the 2025 Regional Citizen of the Year by INRCOG. That's Iowa Northland Council of Governments. This award celebrates individuals within INRCOG region who actively support our mission and champion regional initiatives. In presenting the award, Brian Schoen highlighted Keierleber's longstanding commitment to INRCOG and his collaborative approach in turning innovative ideas into reality. INRCOG Chair Dewey Hildebrand added that Keierleber is widely respected across Iowa for his leadership and contribution both in Buchanan County and throughout the region. We extend our congratulations to Brian on this well-deserved honor and wish him all the best in the upcoming retirement. And I did have an additional note from Brian that he sent to me. As we discussed in all years, we have worked with Brian. He has always been a leader for Buchanan County from our perspective. He is energetic, enthusiastic, innovative, and collaborative. Brian has shown a willingness to work within his regional city and county partners on projects to the benefit of everyone, and he always casts a positive light on situations, viewing challenges not as problems, but as opportunities. We could not have picked a better candidate and recipient for the 2025 INRCOG Citizen of the Year Award. So congratulations, Brian. And if you come up, Chris is gonna take a little photo for you.
But you're not allowed to speak.
No.
That means I have to put the PowerPoint up?
Excellent bridge into Alex.
You have a short statement you'd like to make on geofabrics?
The subject wasn't in. They told me no speaking.
I gotta go back here, otherwise. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one's gotta be good.
Congratulations, Brian. Well deserved.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
This isn't gonna shake her hand because now you put image stickers.
Okay. Next on the agenda, Mr. Wheeland asked for this to be on there, snow removal by the fairgrounds.
Yeah, it looked like there was a couple complaints over the weekend about the fairgrounds not getting plowed with the snow on the sidewalk, so it sounds like you took care of it last week.
Well, let's see, we have a city council member of Independence. We have the Independence mayor here. You guys want to respond to that?
Honest with you, I don't know if we plow the fairgrounds or not. The Facebook page that the comment, I think that Keith was responding to, was talking about the sidewalk area along the front there as you head toward the Civic Center. I couldn't even remember without looking whether there's this actual sidewalk there or not.
It's the sidewalk that runs from the corner where Snow Engineering used to, I can't remember what the name of it is. And then it goes north to the top of Civic Center. And when I saw this from Keith, I picked up the phone and called down to talk to Matt, but he was gone. But Susie talked to me and she said Brett was out there taking care of it as we spoke, so.
Is that something we have in the 2080? I mean.
No, it's our property. It's in our easement.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Thanks for taking care of it, first of all.
I shouldn't say ours, it's the city of Independence property.
Right.
And it's part of the trail system that we put in 8 years ago.
I don't see that.
I can't remember.
I see that's county property, but
I apologize. I'm not prepared to answer the question. I was under the impression that it was not city property up.
Yeah, I know they take care of it. It probably wasn't a big priority during the snowstorm.
I can look into it as well.
Sure.
I'm not familiar with who's responsible for this stuff.
There's a long,
In all fairness, you two, when something happens, on the county property or something, you guys can go ahead and put it on the agenda too. This way, you know, city can take care of the county and the county can take care of the city. It all works.
But we certainly try.
okay, if there's something else we can do, then, I mean, sounds like the city's taking care of it at the moment.
Mother Nature took care of it when it got a little bit more.
Something the city's all
Today.
Okay.
by Friday, it should be pretty well clear.
I guess. Before we leave this topic, I would like to encourage Mr. Whelan, when things like this come up, make a few phone calls to the appropriate areas to find out who's responsible, rather than waiting a whole week to get it onto an agenda, have it looked into. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I did see on Beacon that it is our property and the sidewalk is on our property, and I didn't see an easement for the city, so.
Well, to my recollection, we put that in, there was an easement, but I could be mistaken. But again, we're pursuing figuring that out. It is being taken care of.
And thank you for that, again.
Okay. So no action is. The BESS data mining and data storage moratoriums. In our packets. Okay.
These were provided by Supervisor Vogel from the previous meetings, discussions.
They were ran by our county attorney, or you got the ones from Josh, right? From the county attorney's office.
Those are I printed the ones that you sent me. To be on the
Yeah,
agenda.
okay, yeah. And they say Buchanan County?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it said they had been reviewed by the county attorney's office.
Yep, the county attorney's office did them, so.
I'll,
Two of them are for a year and one of them is through August of this next year, so. One's for 8 months and two of them are for 12 months.
Which one should we start with?
I'm gonna read the data mining one first. Whereas data mining is the commercial process by which volumes of data are analyzed to find patterns, discover trends, and gain insight into how the data can be used, will constitute a commercial data mining operation. And whereas concerns have been raised by public officials regarding the county's level of preparedness when it comes to the development of data mining facilities within the county due to not having a current data mining facility ordinance. And whereas the county has an interest in protecting the county's infrastructure, natural resources, property rights through adequate setback provisions and assurances in adequate fire protection, the Planning and Zoning Commission will require time to gather information and coordinate with multiple agencies for the purpose of reviewing, updating, or creating ordinances, policies, and procedures relative to data mining facilities development. And whereas the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors wishes to enact a moratorium on development and construction of data mining facilities and on issuing application for the permits relating to such development and construction of data mining facilities for the term to end on December 31st, 2026, which may be extended upon resolution by the Board of Supervisors to allow the Board of Supervisors to adopt an ordinance that balances the rights of community property, the rights of property owners seeking to have data mining facilities on their property and be mindful of the health and safety of others. Now therefore it is resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Buchanan County, Iowa, that a moratorium on development and construction of data mining facilities and the application for permits relating to such development and construction of data mining facilities is approved for a period of 12 months, at which time the moratorium could be extended by resolution if deemed necessary by the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors. And be it further resolved that the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors reserves the right to end the moratorium prior to the approval term of the moratorium upon completion of a satisfactory developed data mining facilities ordinance. And be it further resolved that the moratorium approved by the resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption of this resolution, approved by and adopted by the Buchanan County, Iowa Board of Supervisors on this 22nd day of December 2025 upon roll call vote. And with that, I would ask for a roll.
I'll make a motion that we accept the data mining moratorium. Just so people can.
And that was the data mining.
That was data mining.
Thank you.
I would second that. Yeah,
Okay,
roll call vote.
The discussion, if you don't mind.
Okay.
What are you trying to accomplish here? I mean, what's the end goal? Are you just looking to restrict data centers or?
I think, well, if you listen, we're gonna allow the Planning and Zoning Commission to develop an ordinance regarding that as far as what the requirements are for them to have construction within Buchanan County.
So is it just one ordinance or can they? use
I think we
multiple-
need to have separate, I think we need to have separate ordinances.
Okay, because
I guess I'll ask for Wendy's on the board, maybe she could give us some insight.
This is all coming down, just like the other energy situations in Buchanan County. We need to be prepared as a county to address what our county can handle as far as setbacks, as far as safety, emergency management, and that type of situations. And we need time to do our research. As with wind, it took us 2 years. We need some time. We need to do our due diligence and getting all the information we can before we start the process of putting an ordinance together that benefits Buchanan County.
so the way
Because
this,
Buchanan County is just as unique as the other counties that we are getting the information from.
so the way this reads is just one ordinance. Are you looking for more than one ordinance or are we capping it at one ordinance? Does this go out of effect if you create one ordinance?
This resolution is in reference to data mining only. It does not encompass the battery storage or the other data storage.
So no expansion of, and I don't know if you realize, you know, this doesn't just affect crypto mining, but this affects, I believe, real estate comparisons, manufacturing location searches, restaurant traffic trending for wait staff, commercial background checks, underwriting for traffic accident history? I mean,
We already
the
do
way,
all that stuff.
the way this reads, you're trying to limit all those efforts.
No, it is a data mining center. They do only data mining at that center. They look for cryptocurrency and they only do data mining. Now, we already have an assessor's office that helps with real estate comparisons, and the real estate board office also has their own stuff that helps with those comparisons. So it will not affect that in any stretch of the imagination, nor will it affect any of those other things in any stretch of anybody's imagination, except for perhaps yours.
Can you show me where it says data mining center?
I bet it would be pretty simple for
Facility.
the board to approve to add that if that is what the board.
I think, doesn't it say facility on that?
It says construction of data mining facilities.
Facilities.
Okay, so that could also be storage. That could also be computers.
Do
Facilities
you
are not
want
just
do you want large banks of computers taking all the electricity away from the Buchanan County citizens?
I'm just trying to understand what you're looking for. So your goal
I'm
is,
looking for a pause in this so that planning and zoning has enough time to review what they need to review to set into code or into Buchanan County ordinances where and when and if this can happen in Buchanan County. That's what I'm looking for, just a
Okay.
pause.
sure. So
Can you understand the word pause?
very well, thank you.
Please then, do so.
Pause? You want me to pause? All right, so facilities doesn't just include this buildings. Facilities also includes data. It also includes hard drives. It also includes computers.
Did you make a motion, John, or did I make a motion? Did you second it?
I think we're still in discussion.
We're still in discussion.
Okay, so do we want to also define volumes? I mean, are we talking about a book?
I don't think in the resolution we are doing, I think what we are doing is putting a pause on any development of a data mining facility, which would be pretty encompassing, to allow the Planning and Zoning Commission to come up with ordinance that would regulate what the requirements are in Buchanan County.
Sure, what volume? Are we talking about a nibble? Are we talking about?
Oh, a great big bite, Keith. I don't know.
Well, that's
We're gonna give it to them.
what I'm asking.
We want to
Please
give it
keep
to
in
them.
mind-
If you're talking about a bite, then that's
Okay.
what I'm looking for.
Please keep in mind that as the commission, zoning commission puts together any type of ordinance, you have the final say in it.
Sure.
Okay, so they're gonna present information, they're gonna review it, and it's probably gonna be months down the road. The information. This was approved by the county attorney. My recommendation is, and I don't like this phrase, but have, like it's been done in the past, if the board receives a recommendation from the county attorney, it's probably in our best interest to follow that recommendation.
Okay, so volumes. Sean, do you have any comment on
I'm
volume?
done with this discussion.
Sean is no longer on the call.
Okay,
Yeah, so was there a person second on the table and then he wanted a discussion?
absolutely.
Okay, can you call just call for the vote?
You can call the question.
I will call for the vote. First side.
Vote the line.
Reeling there.
We could have done that 10 minutes ago.
Okay. Next is the resolution approving a moratorium on data storage centers. Whereas data storage centers are commercial facilities used to house IT infrastructure and distribute vast amounts of digital data. And whereas concerns have been raised by public officials regarding the county's level of preparedness when it comes to the development of data storage facilities within the county due to not having a current data storage facilities. And whereas the county has interest in protecting the county's infrastructure, natural resources, property rights through adequate setback provisions and assurances and adequate fire protection, the Planning and Zoning Commission will require time to gather information and coordinate with multiple agencies for the purpose of reviewing, updating, or creating ordinances, policies, and procedures relative to data storage facilities development. And whereas the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors wishes to enact a moratorium on development and construction of data storage facilities and on issuing applications for the permits relating to such development
Sorry, we can silence the cell phones, please.
and construction of data storage facilities and on the practice of data storage facilities within Buchanan County for the term to end on August 31st, 2026, which may be extended upon resolution of the Board of Supervisors. To allow the Board of Supervisors to adopt an ordinance that balances the rights of property owners seeking to have data storage facilities on their property and be mindful of the health and safety of others. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Buchanan County, Iowa, that a moratorium on the development and construction of data storage facilities and the application for permits relating to such development and construction of data storage facilities is approved for a period of 8 months, at which time the moratorium could be extended by resolution if deemed necessary by the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors. And be it further resolved that the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors reserves the right to end the moratorium prior to the approved term of the moratorium upon completion of a satisfactorily developed data storage facilities ordinance, and be it further resolved that the moratorium approved by this resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption of this resolution.
Paragraph 2, I think you mean to include the word ordinance after data storage facilities.
I make a motion that we approve the data storage center moratorium. Have a second.
And, with the addition of ordinance,
With the addition of.
okay, paragraph 2.
Keith, can you please repeat where you would like to insert ordinance?
Yeah, I think they meant to include the word ordinance after data storage facilities.
In paragraph 2.
Development of data storage facilities ordinance.
I believe so. But what you're looking for?
So of great concerns have been raised by public officials regarding the county level preparedness when it comes to the development of data storage facilities ordinance within the county.
No, it should be just data storage facilities within the county
Right.
due to not having a current data storage facilities ordinance.
Okay, that's
And
what I
insert the
needed to know.
ordinance there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for catching that.
Yeah.
We have a motion on the table. Can I get a second? I'll second it.
So discussion again, we need to define data storage centers.
Call the question.
So it looks like in this case, you're restricting all commercial facility,
Call the question.
every
Yes, sir.
commercial facility.
It's referring to data storage facilities.
Data storage centers are all commercial facilities used to hide IT infrastructure and distribute vast amounts of digital data.
If you want us to call the question, I vote aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Next one is on,
Sorry?
John, may I just ask a clarification question? Why 8 months on this one and a year on the other one? I just don't know. Is there a particular reason for the time difference? I'm not saying change your vote, but by the imagination. I'm just
No,
curious.
that's just how it came down from the county attorney's office.
Okay.
now we'll move on to the resolution approving a moratorium on data mining, right?
No,
Uh,
battery.
that's,
That's okay. We got to order it somehow for it. Sorry about that. Okay, a resolution approving a moratorium on utility scale battery energy storage systems. Whereas utility scale battery energy storage systems means a large scale electrochemical device that can store and discharge electricity from the grid or a power plant. Different battery technologies such as lithium ion, sodium, sulfur, and lead acids can be used for this purpose. And whereas concerns have been raised by public officials regarding the county's level of preparedness when it comes to the development of utility scale battery energy storage systems within the county due to not having a current utility scale battery energy storage systems ordinance. And whereas the county has an interest in protecting the county's infrastructure, natural resources, and property rights through adequate setback provisions, Planning and Zoning Commission will require time to gather information and coordinate with multiple agencies for the purpose of reviewing, updating, or creating ordinances, policies, and procedures relative to utility scale battery energy storage systems development. Whereas the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors wishes to enact a moratorium on development and construction of utility scale battery energy storage systems and on issuing applications for permits relating to such development and construction of utility scale battery energy storage systems. Thus allowing the Buchanan County Zoning Commission additional time to develop and review a suitable utility scale battery energy storage system for the sewage system. Oops,
I'm just printing.
that's all right.
Well, I'll get it pulled up here.
Corrected to say storage system of ordinance to present to the Buchanan County Supervisors for adoption. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Supervisors of Buchanan County, Iowa, that a moratorium on the development and construction of utility scale battery energy storage systems and on the application for permits relating to such development and construction of utility scale battery energy storage systems is in effect until December 31st, 2026, at which time the moratorium would be extended by resolution if deemed necessary by the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors. And be it further resolved that the Buchanan County Board of Supervisors reserves the right to end the moratorium prior to the approved term of the moratorium upon completion of the satisfactorily developed utility scale battery energy storage systems ordinance. Be it further resolved that the moratorium approved by this resolution shall become effective immediately upon adoption of this resolution.
I think we're a lot closer on this resolution than the previous ones, other than obviously the sewage conversation. But again, I would offer that we probably would want to set up more than one ordinance. We probably want to enable planning and zoning to set up more than just one ordinance.
Would you need more than one ordinance, Wendy? If it's on this, it would encompass everything that would be.
We're going to go because the place is as structure of ordinance. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. So we would follow the same as we did for.
If you want to adopt some national fire protection, that might be another conversation.
We've already taken that into consideration.
Yeah. So
that has already come up in conversation. But it just takes a certain amount of time to get all the information gathered and also do research. And we'll go as far as New York State doing research.
Yeah.
California doing research. Wherever these battery storages are, we will be getting ordinances from those places as well. And it just takes time to get them and then analyze them and see how any of this fits into Buchanan County.
would you like the ability to have establish more than one ordinance?
We're gonna do what we need to do to protect Buchanan County.
They're not limited to just one ordinance. If they want to do ordinances, they can.
So the purpose of this moratorium is set up one ordinance, so I guess that's what
No.
I'm worried
No,
about.
we are going to set up the ordinance that protects Buchanan County or fits Buchanan County better
Okay.
than having somebody drop one in our laps from New York and expect us to use it.
Of course.
That's what we're going to do.
I'm
We
just saying-
just need, all we're asking for is the time to get this put together.
Absolutely.
That,
But I'm just saying that this moratorium only establishes the justification for one ordinance. So I'm asking, do you want additional capacity in that respect?
we're gonna put the ordinance together for best, just as we did for the others.
Uh,
To fully be tailored to Buchanan County.
yes, sir. Also, we should define utility scale. We should define large scale.
We will do that.
You'll do that in
We will
your,
do that.
okay, fair enough. Also some things that we might want to consider, paragraph 3. Where it says, the county has an interest in protecting the county's infrastructure, natural resources and property rights through adequate setbacks. I'm still not convinced we need setbacks on that, but you guys will let us know. But we also might want to talk about property insurance, neighboring landowner indemnifications, liability insurance, bonding for abandonment, closure, decommissioning,
We
and
can do that.
insurance.
Have you looked at the wind ordinance? Have you looked at the solar ordinance? That has all of that stuff in it. So they will do the same thing. They will do their due diligence, just like they have in the other ordinances they've done. That will include all of that, Keith.
Correct.
So I guess if you had looked at stuff in the past, but that does not need to be stated in that moratorium, nor was it stated in the wind moratorium, as it did not need to be.
Doesn't
So
need to be. I'm saying I would like to add to it.
I am going to make a motion that we pass the battery energy storage system moratorium. I would like a second.
I'll second it.
Call vote, Kurt's eye.
Vogel,
Thank you. Okay, budget work session updates.
When do you want to start? We have quite a few back. We are gonna go through public health today. I just need to know when we're gonna start these work sessions. I would prefer we start them, try and get them started in January. Because as you all know, it takes time. This process takes a lot of time on my end.
I can start sooner than January. Start as soon as you guys are ready.
I would prefer to get my valuations finalized, and then with the holiday coming in and fiscal year end. I'm kind of cramped right now.
Sure, sounds good.
Oh, the week of December 29th is too early.
Yeah.
Start the week of the 5th, January 5th.
I don't know.
I'm okay with that. The only thing that week at 3 p.m. I have Teams meeting regarding new software for elections with the Secretary of State's office.
On Monday,
On the 8th, I'm sorry.
on Monday.
Thursday, the 8th at 3 p.m. I have a meeting. And keep in mind, this will not be set in stone because I will need to confirm with the department heads that we have back. I have completed the general services, the non-departmental, medical examiner, court, risk management. I've done all of those. Just as a prelim, I haven't done the requested part. I just did the reestimate, but those can all be adjusted for your guys' request.
I'm Wednesday, January 7th, I'm going that day.
Pretty much open. There's a couple meetings here and there, but
At this point, I'm open.
we start on that Tuesday, the 6th.
We could probably start Monday afternoon.
Sounds good.
I would prefer to start at 1:30 or later due to allowing my staff the ability to take a lunch.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then would we like to do some on the 6th also?
Yeah.
Start time, because I have to post agendas for all of these because they are work sessions.
Anytime.
A little more specific.
8:30 or 9 o'clock?
8.
8? Dawn said 8.
The sooner we get these done, the better off we are.
Girl.
If we could start at 5 o'clock in the morning, I probably would at this point in time.
Yeah. AM on the 6th.
Okay, we'll roll with that for now. That should allow us to get quite a few done that we have received already. And continue. And we can always, after that, we can, after the 6th, at the end of the day, we can set more dates for the following week. And that, keep in mind, that's gonna depend on the amount of budgets that we get back in.
Right.
I know I do have a few departments that are still working on them.
Let's try and get as many done we can that first week, because second week I do have a lot of meetings scheduled to.
My last class starts
At 12.
sometime in January too. And my masters will be done.
Thanks.
So far-
Congratulations.
So far, 4.0 grade point average.
Good stuff.
I understand you guys got meetings and you got your classes, but I really hope this is at the top of your list of priorities.
Happens every year.
And if I need to, I can always zoom in, correct?
Yeah,
All doable.
all right, I'll get those on the
Thank you.
calendar and get an agenda out. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Next board and commission updates. Start?
Yeah, I can jump in. INRCOG, the exec meeting and, Regional Transportation Association. They increased their membership rates, penny to 55 cents per capita per year. So I gave you both, what those, rates are for the county and the individual cities. The Buchanan County Housing Preservation Grant was not approved. It looks like they only approved, the larger cities, Cedar Falls, Waterloo, those, so there were low approval rates and, I requested denial feedback, but I don't really expect a lot from that. Waste Exchange, they have an opening. That's an environmental resource specialist, that's hired through DNR. So that is an INRCOG position hired through DNR. They're looking for an waste exchange coordinator. There was some discussion about US 63, and I'm kind of diving in between Regional Transportation Association and exec meetings, so they're both the same day, so apologize for the notes. There was a discussion about the traffic accidents at US 63 and C57. I realize that's outside of our county, but I believe a lot of our members or a lot of our residents travel through that intersection. So just highly aware of the accident history at US 63 and C57. One of the conversations that came up was, bless you, there was 22 mayors that either didn't win re-election or didn't seek re-election. So that's about 25% of our region.
And you got that from what meeting?
INRCOG. Yeah. Alex, would you mind talking about, or Brian, or sorry, I'm getting the dates mixed up here. Brian, would you mind talking about the BIP levying, DIP levying?
There's two separate grants out there. The Bridge Improvement Program, BESS,
Thank you.
is the Cutshaw Bridge. And there's a couple counties, ones have little issues. We're all, 5 of our 6 of us have to be tied in one contract. So if one's slow on getting there right away, that impacts everybody else. So they're pushing that from a March, or from February, March to April letting. And then the second one of interest that came up there too was what Kathy Nicholas had referred to was the, now it's Competitive Highway Bridge Program, CHBP program. And we've got a bridge in that too that's been quasi approved. I think it's the best way. And they're looking at having the letting. We expect formal approval on it. And then we expect to have a letting for the bridge north of Quasqueton on the pavement. And you're targeting January of 27.
Yes, assuming everything falls in place.
And that also falls into, Alex and I were just visiting a little while ago, ties in with when you're hoping to let the bridge on 150th Street at Indiana Avenue. So the big concrete bridge the truck went over a couple years ago is one we're trying to get replaced too. We've got about 15 bridges in the county qualified for federal bridge. So that's a pretty low rate.
Again,
Thanks for that. And there was one more note that I forgot to write down. CDBG grants. So these are federal grants. One of them is coming out is a roof replacement for single family homes. This is very cursory information. This is very fresh information. The max program fund is $900,000, but these are for single family homes. And as soon as we get more information out about it, I'll let everybody know. Awesome. Thanks.
We just had employee reviews last week and I'll let you fill in the rest, John.
okay, Iowa Northland Regional Housing Council, which is different from the one that Keith's on. They meet up in Waverly, I think, and we meet at INRCOG. I think we have a lot of the same members. So Grundy County, Greenville County, us, I think Benton County's involved in it also. Lisa was there, Lisa Kramer from Economic Development was attending, she's on that board also. They did announce that they have money remaining in their revolving loan fund of $265,000 available, designed to help with new home buyer assistance, that type of thing, if you meet certain criteria. They are having a housing symposium in April in Waverly, and it's primarily geared toward mayors on developing housing. And there'll be a presentation on Homes for Iowa, which is made by, those are made by Iowa Prison Industries. And the quality of those homes has come up dramatically, and they actually don't look like mobile homes anymore. So
No, I toured one a couple weeks ago. They're great looking homes.
So they're promoting that, and currently they INRCOG has one available that the city of Beaman backed out on. They were going to be 2 and they only did 1. There is one home that's going to be available, and they said that there's the waiting list has gone down significantly as they're getting a lot better at building these. So. Also on the Housing Assistance Fund, they have funds available up to $35,000 for home repairs. So that's another thing that if they meet the income criteria, it is a great help. Low interest loans, some of them are forgivable also. So, we meet quarterly, so they set the schedule for next year, and that's about it on that one. I will say that last Wednesday, we had an exercise here, training for all the county employees within the courthouse to participate on a intruder, active shooter scenario. I think overall it went really well. It was good learning experience. I'd never been through one before. The goal was all of us be in our normal workplaces like a normal day, let things transpire and how we would react. It was a great learning experience. Only disappointment was Keith chose that to participate with the board. He went to the assembly room instead of his normal work location. But
Yeah, there were a lot fewer places to hide down there.
the whole goal of this session was that you were in this location, so we knew as a team what we were going to do in the event of that. But that's your prerogative again. But that was a great experience. Sheriff Mazinski, I don't know if you wanted to chime in on that exercise at all, because you guys did a great job.
Thanks. No, something that we haven't done for a while for the county. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of preparation. Want to keep people safe because it's pretty intense, as you kind of seen for some people in their offices. I think it was very well accepted from all the different staff and things. I haven't heard a lot of bad things that came out of it. So yeah, we're still learning. A lot of things have changed. Obviously, we learn from bad things that take place in the world. Changing how we teach it or do our exercises, and so yeah, it was a good experience. We got some other things done during that time period. So just like I said, haven't heard a lot of bad from the training, but if anybody hears anything, we definitely would like to know that, just in case, just so we can keep improving what we need to do and how our training goes.
The whole staff was absolutely professional. Your staff, emergency management, we even had a police officer there from Independence. They're just absolutely phenomenal. So thank you for that.
If
They
any,
do a great job.
sorry, if anybody wants this for their school or for their church, or kind of like maybe a corporation or company or whatever, they can contact emergency management. That's all coordinated through the emergency management. Chris here and Cody McGrew will coordinate that, and it encompasses the police, the PD, and it encompasses the sheriff's department also as well. But they do the coordination for it. So if anybody so wants the need or the desire, then please let them know.
Secondary roads would be a good place to have training like that sometime too, because we get some interesting characters out there at night.
Anything else? for
Leave the commission.
If there's nothing else on board commission updates, I'll move to public comments, please. Yes.
I gotta go to work, so, or back to work. I'm gonna stand up because I like to see you guys' faces and everything. And I really need more than 3 minutes. I don't think that's
We'll
fair.
let you
Okay.
go. Please introduce.
Oh, Deb Jacobs, do I need to say anything else?
Just address.
Do I have to say my address? I don't.
Okay.
Say you live in Buchanan County.
Winthrop, taxpayer of Buchanan County.
There you go.
First of all, this shindig that happened Saturday with Independence Hugs and Rainbows, and maybe you guys addressed this before I got here, that Keith, with you sharing that paperwork with the public, did you have the right to do that? All you did was stir up a whole can of worms. We were being attacked. They didn't know. If you're sharing this stuff, why don't you tell them the whole story? They didn't even know what the code of Iowa was. They don't even know what they're complaining about. And it's very frustrating for those of us that are on boards and get attacked. And then Mr. Trumbley mentioned that there was a supervisor in the past that's filed charges against Buchanan County. We'd really like to know who that is. Nobody that I've ever talked to, the older people in town, I've been here a long time, grew up in Jessup. We don't know who it is. So why do you have your people post stuff without actual facts behind it?
Was that addressed to me? My people?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, why would you think that he's my people?
You shared it with him.
He asked for it, I'm gonna get it to him.
Why haven't you done it before it was approved?
Public
didn't even-
information.
Not before it's approved.
He wouldn't have known that you even got it because the only people that got it were the elected officials, Keith.
He was asking what was going on next week.
Anyway, I don't think it's right. I think you overstepped your lane. I think you caused a lot of problems for people in Buchanan County. You're creating so much mistrust in this county. Nobody likes what's going on. And unfortunately, there's no way to flip and get rid of you. Other thing he talked about was misappropriation of funds. I want to see the paperwork where you guys are coming up with this. Why can't you prove documentation that there's something going on instead of just saying it's going on?
Again, you're referring to someone.
Yes, I'm referring to you.
Saying that that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, it's my
We,
opinion.
your independence pups and rainbows. No, come on.
I can't take credit for every good idea.
I would say those are not good ideas, and that's pretty sarcastic comment from you. John and Dawn know their lane, their responsibilities, their duties. Why don't you? Instead of always going out, approaching people that you have no business approaching just to cause mistrust. Also spreading half truths and just to stir up the pot. This is a question to taxpayers. Why do you guys believe everything that he says instead of doing research and understanding the facts and know what's going on? One of my comments was, have you ever heard trust but verify? I erased a bunch of stuff because I'm sure you guys talked about it. The other thing I'm really miffed at about this independence hugs and rainbows thing is the thing about they don't know what's going on in meetings. I think the county does a fantastic job, Chris does a fantastic job of getting it out there when you guys have meetings, posting the agendas. How is that our fault that people don't come to the meetings? And then all they want is all this information on the back end, cause more work for people. I don't get that. And that's another thing we were accused of. Once again, I don't think it's the county's fault that taxpayers don't show up. But please, in the future, would you think before you do stuff to stir up the pot? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
That hurts independence. Keith, you're now in your 12th month of your term. I don't see any more certificates of completion up there than I did when I asked in the spring. You're too, and shut the timer off, John. You gave everyone that. Sorry.
Sure, we never really had held anybody else.
Keith, I'm talking to you. Please.
I'm trying to defend you.
Please pay attention to me right now. Okay. You're too busy to make yourself out to be a shining star, but end up looking like a wet match. Instead, this on-the-job training that you're trying to do is not working. Just like the conversation about the compensation board earlier today, you're trying to pick the fly shit out of the pepper. You know, you're so worried about how much anybody's gonna make, but you don't care how much you cost the county. You obviously don't care because you keep doing it. I understand that you've included me in your latest drama. You have named me specifically in your latest complaint with yet another state entity, the Iowa Ombudsman's Office. I am a private citizen and can ask or say anything I want. You, on the other hand, can't decide if you're asking as a private citizen or a board of supervisors, whichever is more beneficial to your cause at the moment. You stated that I am trying to conduct county business via my personal phone, email, and my personal Facebook account. Had you done your research, you would know the Ombudsman's Office does not accept complaints against private citizens. But yet you named me. This latest fiasco leads me to believe that you were just throwing crap at the wall just to see what sticks, like you did when you reported me to the police twice before. Are you really that afraid of me? Moving into the new year, I sincerely hope that you discard the tactics that you have tried to implement in this past year, because they aren't working. Please find things that are good for and about Buchanan County instead of the black cloud that has prevailed over Buchanan County this past year. Thank you, Keith.
Thanks for your comment.
I didn't get that.
Yeah. You were rude to death. What's the matter with you? Need to learn.
Moving on, anybody else?
I just want to thank you for increasing and following the compensation board's recommendation. Those people deserve the raises. And the other thing is, I want to thank you for voting yes for the 3 moratoriums, because the planning and zoning committee needs time to do their due diligence. Too often we've seen, especially with technology and coming from the school standpoint, is that they'll throw things out there and we don't have any rules and regulations to go by. So that is important. You got to do that. Because I know there was an instance in one of the schools I was at that involved a student from Independence as well, and it was due to sexting. But what can the school do? You know, we were asked when we were punishing the people for doing wrong, how come the school is doing that when the law enforcement is not? So let's get the cart before the horse. Let's do things right. Let's get things set up. And the P&Z has done a wonderful job on the ordinances that they've already set for this county. And again, we have to protect our land and our people. So thank you and Merry Christmas.
Thanks, Bob.
I also want to say I'm the vice chair of the compensation board, so, and it was all my data. So if anybody has any questions, reach out to me. I'd really like to have a one-on-one with you instead of this crap of catching people on social media.
Thanks, Devin.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Anyone else out there?
I would like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and have a happy holiday. Enjoy the littles that you're gonna be around and enjoy your family and enjoy the calorie-free day that you're going to have.
Very true.
So, one last thing before we adjourn. I've been in communication back and forth with Maggie Berger, and we wanted to try and get together either tomorrow or Wednesday to have a discussion on our bonding. And she's available Tuesday from 9 till noon or from 3 to 5. Wednesday, she could do meeting at 9, but the rest of the day is all booked up if she's on vacation.
Can we just do 9 o'clock
Tomorrow,
Tomorrow,
for the workshop?
workshop.
do you need to put that in the newspaper?
Yeah, I'll have to be a notice, but
I have to post an agenda. None of the agendas go
it'll
in the
be a
newspaper.
work session.
It's not a.
It's just a work session.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, it's a work session.
So tomorrow at 9?
Is that okay would that work for your office, Chris?
Right.
Why not?
Why not?
It's so flexible.
If it doesn't, we can do another.
Is there a better time that works for you? I mean, most of the days are free for me.
I'll make it work. This is one of those things where I don't have a choice because by code, I'm the board secretary and then I still have to get my job done.
And we can stand too if you wanted to. You're all up.
We have a day and a half to complete claims and payroll. And I'm sure all of our employees would like to get a paycheck before or right after Christmas.
You know, pay's not
And
important.
I'm sure all the vendors would like paid. So we're swamped, but I was here at 7 this morning and if I gotta stay late again tonight and come in early like I usually do, I will. Hence, I'm very grateful for the raise.
Don says 5:30.
I'll be here. In all reality, that would probably work out better.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
President.